Hello everybody and welcome to another Diesel Mark 2 video, and today I'm going to be talking about another childhood memory, and this is a memory that has been with me since the golden age of Super Nintendo. Now, this is probably this was one of the most hype games of all time. And it is, of course, Super Mario RPG. Now, back then I only owned one game and one game only because I bought it myself with the money I saved up, and it was Super Mario World 2, Yoshi's Island. And I'll talk about that eventually, but this game was, and still is, probably one of the most iconic RPGs. Now, that coming from the whole Final Fantasy series, which was Square's Square Enix's IP at the time, and Nintendo was like, "Hey, can we possibly do an RPG with Mario?" And so they did. And back then, I didn't understand what an RPG was about. All I knew was you run and jumped with Mario. That's all I ever knew. And I didn't know what an RPG meant. I tried playing Final Fantasy 4, which was actually 3, which was 4 at the time, as you guys know. And I just couldn't get into it. So here I was sitting there playing this new game, and believe it or not, I thought that the enemies were actually helping you, but no, you were taking damage. Back then, we had games that were, we still had, Bowser was the main bad guy. He was, except for a few Mario games like Mario Land, Mario Bros. 2, which was Doki Doki Panic. So you start out the game as any game does. Princess Peach is captured, and you off to save her yet again from Bowser. And you get to the castle, and you fight Bowser in an RPG style. And you beat him, you're thinking, okay, that's it, we're done, the game's over. You have a whole game ahead of you. This was before Paper Mario. This was before Mario Luigi Superstar Saga. This was before any of the RPGs that we know of now. We're like, oh, is this the beginning of the game? So there's this new villain in town, which is an alien, and obviously they call themselves the Smithy Gang. And the Smithy Gang is a bunch of bad guys wanting to take over the Mushroom Kingdom. And there are a bunch of bosses that just are silly. Some of them are kind of ironic. There's a parody, which is Power Rangers. I'm not kidding. If you guys have not played Super Mario RPG, there's a parody of Power Rangers in that game. Just like another game, which I'll talk about eventually. So, Super Mario RPG was basically it was the very first Super Mario RPG game. And unfortunately, Square said, we're done after this game. They were going to go to PlayStation because Nintendo wasn't going to go with discs. But anyway, so what's the deal? Well, in this game, you're after 7 stars, which basically is going to repair the Star Road, which was destroyed at the beginning of the game. And what that is it grants everyone's wishes. Or where people's wishes come from. And you get two new characters, Zeno and Mallow. Zeno is some being from another. He doesn't even say where he's from. It mentions that he's higher than the heavens. I don't know. Mallow even asks that at the beginning of the game. And Mallow, at the beginning of the game, is thought to be a tadpole. But later on it's found out that he's actually a prince. But anyway, so... And then you get Bowser and Peach. Yes, Bowser and Peach are playable in this game. So, if you think Super Paper Mario was the first game, nope. This is the first RPG game where you can play as Peach and Bowser. So you go through the whole game, you fight bosses, we fight a sword named Mac, a bow named Bowyer. They're all weapons, by the way. Some weird dog thing named Bellome. Punchinello. He's just a big massive bomb. Is what all he is. And the game gets weirder and weirder as you go along. And it even has an iconic super boss, which everybody thought back then. We're not going to be able to beat this guy. And if you knew how to beat him, you could. So, towards the middle of the game, Smithy finds out that these star pieces, that's what they're called, are important to grant wishes, and he starts basically wanting them for his own to destroy. So that way no one's wishes can be granted, so that way he can fill the world with weapons. So you battle bosses. It's a few mini games along the way. There's Yoshi's Island where you can meet up with Yoshi and race. There's Monster Town. I love Monster Town. That's where the iconic super boss is, which is I don't remember his name. Colex. And he is basically from the world of Final Fantasy. He's not from the game Final Fantasy, but it says the iconic boss theme. It's pretty cool. It even has the wind theme from the Final Fantasy games. It's pretty cool. So, is Super Mario RPG worth playing? I would suggest you play it. I am telling you, if you like Paper Mario or any other Mario RPGs that are out there, Mario Luigi, Paper Mario, just anything RPG related, it's great. The final boss is epic. It is so freaking awesome. It's got 2 phases. I'm not going to spoil too much of it, but let me just say that Super Mario RPG is an awesome game. I'm hoping that Nintendo finally gets their heads in the game and finally releases it on the NSO SNES. I'm telling you, if Square and Nintendo are finally coming to terms with each other again, I think it's about time we finally get Super Mario RPG on Switch. Or that sequel that Miyamoto promised us. So, I mean, that the Final Fantasy creator promised us. So, I'll see you guys next time. Like, comment, subscribe, share. I'll see you guys on the next video.